It's just easy makeup that anybody can use. It's makeup for the one that's given up on it, me, or the absolute expert that just loves all things makeup. So I'm gonna get started. 3 colors. The dark one's the contour. That's gonna accentuate the shadows of your face. You kind of see a shadow there. There's a shadow if I had a good cheekbone, but I'm gonna make one. Kind of the shadow in the nook of your nose, under your lip. So the contour is gonna emphasize the shadowing of our face. There's a brightening highlight, and this is all makes up your foundation, so I know that's weird. So it's contour, brightening highlight, main highlight. The brightening highlight goes in the center of your face to bring light and bright to your eyes. And this is actually the triangle of light. Brows are the top, the chin's the bottom part of the triangle, and we want to bring light and bright there. And then we have the main highlight, the one that looks most like your skin tone. We're going to put that where we don't put the first 2 products, and then we're just going to blend it out. Once you do this a time or 2, I'm telling you, it's easier than any makeup I've ever done in my life. So I'm using the Buff brush. I'm just gonna bounce into my contour color, the dark scary color that I'd never buy if someone didn't tell me exactly where to put it. And I'm just gonna go top of ear to outer corner of eye, nothing to it. And our contour has coverage too. Every part of our 3D foundation has coverage. And just remember, I'm blending in the end. See, and these aren't perfect, and that's okay, because cream works in our favor for so many reasons, but it's very forgiving, and we're gonna blend in the end. So we went up and under the cheekbone. You can put your brush on your cheekbone and roll into the hollow, and that's where you want it, or you can just go off your landmarks, top of ear to outer corner of eye. Okay, and it's not even, that's okay. We're gonna continue with that contour, and we're gonna go temple to temple. Now, another reason that I am just tapping in, you don't need to dig, swipe, anything like that. This is heavily pigmented product with 0 water. So it actually does work in our favor because less is more. So we're getting coverage, light and bright, glow, dimension with the tiniest bit of cream makeup. So this other part, I just went temple to temple along my hairline. We're emphasizing that our forehead's round. That's it. If you have a long forehead like myself, sometimes it makes it appear a little bit shorter. Now I'm taking the edge of the Buff brush and I'm following my eyebrow line down my nose. This was scary for me at first. I didn't do it for 6 months, I don't think, but I encourage you to try it sooner than that because it does narrow your nose. Look at how narrow my nose looks, but now it looks a little bit long. So then we put a little bit of contour right on the tip and now it's like a little button nose. It's crazy what you can do with this stuff if someone actually shows you how to do it on your own face. Okay, so 2 more things with contour. I like to put a little under my lower lip for added pucker. You know, it just kind of makes that lip a little more pouty. You can skip that step if that's not for you. And then this step, I don't want to skip. I go right on the undercarriage of my jaw to really chisel out my face. I love this part for pictures if you're ever having your picture taken. Or just for every day. It really chisels out your neck, and sometimes it will hide any extra jazz we have going down here. I kind of have like turkey neck stuff, but if I just put a little contour there, it's shadowed, so it's not distracting. Okay, we're done with contour. Boom, check, 1 done. Now we're going to the brightening highlight. I'm using the same brush end. These brushes were made for our cream. They're magic. You just dip in there and it simply deposits it on your face. So if you're gonna get Saint, you need to get a Saint brush. I mean, they're the best. Okay, so I just dabbed in. I'm putting like a little sprout in between my brows with that brightening highlight. Okay, and it's not the beautifulest sprout ever, but it doesn't have to be because we're gonna blend. And then I kind of go down my nose with that brightening highlight. This is the lightest shade, the brightening highlight of our 3D foundation. I put a little bit on the tip, and then I do my Cupid's bow, and I hit my nose because I've been sneezing a lot here. And if you have any redness, I tell you what, this stuff just cuts it out. Or blemishes, it's just amazing. So remember our triangle of light? We're bringing light to the center of our face. So we went in between the brows, down the nose, tip of the nose, Cupid's bow, chin, and then I hit a little bit in that inner corner of the eye. Remember, where you have a lot of texture, like I have a lot of texture here, less is more. I'm still going to get that light and bright, but you just don't want a lot of product. No matter what you're using, it will migrate if you use too much. So less is more. And it's the number one mistake people make with Saint is using too much. So I always say just kind of repeat to yourself and start with a little, because this is buildable. So if you're like, you know what, I want a little bit more, you can add a little bit more. So we brightened, we're done with it. In between the brows, down the nose, tip of the nose, cupid's bow, chin, inner corner of the eye, outer corner of the eye. And if you watch me do the outer corner of the eye, I like to go follow that lower lash line up because it's gonna lift our eye. Look at that. And same thing over here, inner corner of the eye, outer corner of the eye. Okay, done with brightening highlight, check. Now I'm switching to my blush and bronzer brush. If you're a bronzer gal like me, I wear it all year round, love it for in between seasons. You can get this brush and a bronzer of your choice. We have 5 to choose from. My favorite's Bella, and it's pretty universal. You can get this and the bronzer for $11 cheaper if you go through Bronzer Collection, okay? Now I'm using the small domed end of the bronzer brush, and I'm going in that main highlight color, the one that looks most like my skin, and I'm stippling this on where I don't have product. So basically, that lower half of my face, just like so. I had a little, I don't know, air pocket, and I just hit it with my brush, and I don't know if you heard that or not. So we put a little bit of that main highlight on the lower half of our face. You can always drape it up here. With cream, there's no need to cover every part of your face because we're now gonna blend, and it blends out magically. It's made to be worn together. It's cohesive makeup. You know how you go in the stores and you get a bunch of different brands? You really don't know how they're gonna like react together because there are so many ingredients and different chemicals in a lot of makeup products. So I love this about Saint too. There's 11 ingredients. It's all natural. It's all made by the same company. So you know it's cohesive makeup. So I am just blending this out light to dark only because that's the way I was taught. You could do anything that you wanted to do. You could blend the contour first. Like I said, it's meant to be worn together. So you're gonna get a nice finished product regardless of how you blend it out. I feel like I have a hair in my eye. Maybe not. And then try to stipple, like press it into your skin because that is so much nicer for your skin. You'll see me doing some swipey swipes, but if you think just press it in, stipple, it's the best habit to get yourself into. So I've kind of blended, I think, all of the light. And now I'm going to get this dark. So I'm going to do some small circles or push it back into my hairline. Just so it's not such a big color change, you know, because we put that brightening highlight in the center of our brows. But look, yeah, easy. And then I'm just going to buff these little nose lines out because I still want them there. I just don't want them like crazy pronounced. Okay, just like so. We have that narrowing of our nose, but you can't really see it from the side. And then this is kind of the only rule with Saint is to flick up and back with this cheekbone contour because we want to lift our faces, not drag them down or lower them. So I always say there are absolutely no rules in makeup, and there aren't. You can't do anything wrong. But this, if you drag this down, it's going to drag your face down. So this is just a really good tip with Saint is to push this cheekbone contour up and back because we want to continue to lift our face and not lower it. Okay, and I like to keep a little bit of my brightening highlight line there because it's just subtle enough, but it lifts my eye. So it's kind of, you blend to your liking. But look at that, that's 3D foundation. We have coverage, light and bright, dimension, and it's all in one compact. So, like I said, I'm a bronzer gal, so I love Bella bronzer, and I put this big fluffy end in Bella. And I like to do bronzer before lip and cheek, but you can kind of do whatever you want. So I like to see my bronzer kind of top of cheek, top of forehead, where I'm sun-kissed. But as you see, this side is just kind of warm and golden. We don't have shimmer in our bronzer. And there, you don't have to worry about orange because it is just a nice golden sun-kissed glow. So I put bronzer on my right side, and now I'm going to add a little bit over here. You can never have enough bronzer, in my opinion. So if you think of a C, like that's kind of where you want your bronzer. You can always go under your nose. If you have that floating head issue in pictures, definitely bring that Bella bronzer down your neck. It just makes a huge difference. Yes, Bella. She's my go-to. Now I'm going to a Sandstone. This is a lip cheek. Our lip cheeks are all made as lip cheeks. So you don't even have to be confused about that anymore. Like, does this cheek color go with this lip color? Yes, because they're the same color. So I'm gonna use Sandstone. Now these were a holiday edition, so they actually come in the full-size tin. But I love this color for fall, and you'll see why. And I went a little heavy. I still have to say to myself, heavy pigment, Lexi. If you're used to traditional makeup, especially liquid, you can like lob that on. You know, like put half the bottle in your hand and put it on, because 75% of it is water, where this is all highly pigmented cream. So less is more. I'm reminding myself. So this is Sandstone, just this beautiful, wonderful, earthy tone fall color. But if she's scary to you, we have a lot of subtle, barely there shades too. So I like to put my blush on the apple of my cheek because my face is long and I've lost volume mid-face. You can kind of like figure out what you like for you. So I go right on the apple. And some people say you can't go on the apple of your cheek if you're over 40. Well, I'm 41 and a half, so I don't think that's true. It's kind of what you like for your face shape. So I'm long and I want it to be a little bit wider. So I like to put my blush on the apple of my cheek. Now, if you want to continue to narrow your face, go on the outer corner of your eye and work up right above your contour line, and that will continue to thin and narrow your face. So what do you think? This is Saint. It's the easiest makeup I've ever tried in my whole life. I've never felt so good in makeup. It just kind of always, whenever I put it on, puts a little pip in my step. So we do have a Vanilla Dust setting powder right here. This is a finely milled translucent, even though it appears white. It's made for all skin tones. So I always like to use my Perfector sponge. P.S. If you're starting with cream for the first time, or you're a heavy-handed gal, this is nice to have. You only use these damp. You can roll this over your finished cream Saint product, and it's gonna pick up any extra Saint cream that hasn't melted into your skin. I also like to use it for that Vanilla Dust setting powder. I like to put it mid-face. So I'm expressive. I like to smile. I make a lot of faces. So I put it kind of around my eyes, around my nose, around my mouth, for a nice finisher. Now, if you like a full mattified look, put it everywhere. So it's that simple. Remember, this is a palette 12. This is where I say to start.